We are heading to the Animal Kingdom today. We've been checking the wait times on the My Disney Experience app, and it looks like none of them are too bad besides Flight of Passage, which may be like a 45-minute to an hour wait, but...
I'm really excited to see Pandora. The sights and the smells and the sounds of it, as we always say.
Stopped and got drinks from Pongu Pongu.
Oh, yeah.
So we're about to board our time rover. We're gonna head over to Everest. I'm gonna ride, Jamie might go get a drink, and then from there, after that, we might get lunch or something.
It's about my past, impossible to turn away from me. He's holding back, he's hiding, but what I can't decide.
Leaving Dino Land and heading into Asia for the first time on this trip. You can see Everest back there. And there's the Nemo Theater, which is currently not running, and the lagoon for Rivers of Light out there. Walking in over here, this is so cool looking. They have all these little banners. This is really decorated so cool. I mean, we've walked through here so many times, but I feel like they've got more banners and things up right now that are just really making it look pretty. It's really, really cool. And I think I'm gonna go hop on Expedition Everest and then meet up with Jamie after. Jamie is waiting at the Thirsty River Bar and Trek Snacks. It looked like they actually had a lot of good cocktails there. She's in line right there. And then I'm getting in line for Expedition Everest, which has a posted wait time of 20 minutes.
I am here at Thirsty River Bar and Snacks, and I'm gonna get a drink. So if you can see the menu up there. Not sure what I'm gonna get yet, but we'll see. Arie's he's getting onto Everest right now. I'm gonna get myself a drink and just relax. Maybe get some Joffreys as well, but we'll see. So I got the Dunbar margarita. That one looks good too.
The time right now is 2:10, so it should be on by 2:30.
Won't he be the king I know he is? The king I see is
plexiglass, and then we'll be close to boarding. It is 2:20, so I actually only waited about 10 minutes so far. In row 15 and waiting to get in. So I'm close to the back. A Wilder ride is okay with me. I'm excited.
Once on board, secure all gear in the cargo bag in front of you. For your safety, remain safe.
Can you feel that love tonight? The peace the evening brings. The world for once
line for Everest at about 2:10. It's 2:30 now, and I'm already off and going to find Jamie. So it really did not take long at all. 20 minutes, line, ride, and done. Not bad at all. So I'm thinking, even if Flight of Passage is posted as pretty long, it might actually be quicker than it says, so that'd be awesome. We're definitely gonna give it a go later and ride that one for sure. I met back up with Jamie. She was drinking her margarita. We're sitting here out kind of between Everest and the bridge to Discovery Island. And I just placed a mobile order for Flametree barbecue, pulled pork sandwich with fries and a Coke. Sounds delicious. They do have some other desserts there that sound good, but I'm thinking I might get a different snack for now because there's a bunch of sundaes and other things, or a Dole Whip over in Africa that I want to try, maybe a Simba pretzel too. I'm just gonna get the Flametree for now and then decide later if we want any cupcakes or anything else to maybe even take back to the resort. I didn't really even notice this either, but right where we're sitting, there's all these backpacks hung up. And it's just, again, look at all the details that Disney puts around the parks. This is supposed to be like a base camp for climbing up a mountain. It's really cool. And there is the mountain over there. We're actually sitting right by the Anandapur bus where they have the Yeti sundae. Chocolate soft serve topped with vanilla soft serve, blue cake crumbs, and sugar sweet snowflakes, and a chocolate Yeti image. So I think I'm gonna get that at some point on this trip. It looks awesome. I think there's supposed to be, or could be, monkeys there. It says something about respecting the wildlife and monkeys, but I don't see any. While walking too, we saw these actually pretty cute, like cheetah print, leopard print Crocs.
Like them.
Yeah, me too.
And they have Mickey Mouse holes.
I know, I do like the Mickey Mouse holes that the Disney Crocs have. I don't remember seeing this place on the mobile order, but it's the Anandapur Local Foods Cafe, and it looks like they've got like honey sesame chicken, an American Kobe cheeseburger, Korean fried chicken, teriyaki chicken, and a bunch of other cool things. I really never knew this was here, so maybe this is something that I want to try another time. I do see that they have the mini mango pies too, which I've heard are awesome. So we're walking from Asia area back into Discovery Island now to get the Flametree barbecue, and then we'll do some more rides after that, maybe the safari, maybe the Lion King show, depending on the times, and then finish off with definitely some Pandora rides at the end of our day. Sounds like a good plan.
Hopefully it doesn't start raining.
Yeah, there was a little bit of sprinkling, but it shouldn't be too bad. Passed by a couple little food places on the way, so back there, yeah, Jamie's seeing this drink here that looks really good. Jose Cuervo with pineapple, orange, guava juice, and a hint of watermelon. Island Sunrise sounds like a winner. We also did pass the place that has the mac and cheese, like pulled pork mac and cheese, shrimp mac and cheese, but then we are almost at Flametree, so we're gonna go grab the food. We got under the kind of covering for Flametree and we're waiting now, but it just started raining a bit more, so perfect timing to kind of make it out of the rain. Just picked up my food. I'm gonna be sure not to drop it, but just kind of wanted to show walking around Flametree and all the different seating. It's really cool. It's a bunch of little like kind of terraced seating with tables, different covered areas, kind of going down by the water. It's really pretty. We actually love sitting out here and looking at the lagoon where they do Rivers of Light. You can get a good view of Everest too, and a lot of other stuff, and the characters as they come around. So the perfect place to eat your pulled pork. I'm gonna find Jamie. And we got a bird friend out here.
Hopefully it won't bite me.
He's interested in my food. So we got the delicious Flametree and an incredible view. Look at that. And the rain did kind of die down a little, so it's perfect. Kind of cooled the day down a little bit. So I'm here now, almost ready to eat this Flametree. Funny thing happened.
A bird ate it.
I stood up for probably all of about 20 to 30 seconds to go get a fork from the dispenser, and I come back and there's this giant stork. Bird, crane, whatever he is, we showed him earlier when we were walking up to the table. He was eyeing my food. So this dude came up, he started pecking at all of my pulled pork the second I walked away. So I saw it all splattered all over the ground. I was really scared. I did not want to eat a sandwich that a bird had pecked at. So I went up, I talked to them. Of course, Disney is awesome about replacing things or making it right. So I have my new pulled pork plate here that I'm not going to let get touched by the bird. And I'm excited to try it.
Oh, and I don't know if Arie forgot to mention this morning there was a frog in our room.
Oh yeah, I think we forgot to mention that.
I was going to the bathroom and when I looked down, I'm like, what is that? And it wasn't like cardboard or anything. It was like brown and tiny. And then I looked more at it and it had like, it looked like a frog. And I was pretty positive that it was. And I started screaming and telling Arie.
She said, I think it's a frog.
And he didn't believe me.
I was like, I don't think there'd be a frog on the bathroom floor. And I went and looked, and this frog was like smaller than a dime. Like a penny or dime size tiny little frog. So small, I could barely make out his eyes and little legs. So I wrapped him up in a towel and then released him outside.
So yeah, that's what happened this morning. It scared me a lot. I don't know how it got in there.
Me either. I didn't believe her when she said there was a frog in the bathroom.
Like, that's why I didn't want to stay on the first floor.
Same, I don't like snakes, and I've heard that snakes can get into rooms too. So
yeah, and lizards.
We saw one example of an amphibian getting in this morning. Hopefully that's the only time we'll see this happen.
Yeah, because I don't want any more surprises the next time I have to use the bathroom.
No. No pulled pork. No pulled pork for you. Seriously, he will not leave me alone. He is back for the pork. He wants it really badly. I've had Flametree a couple times before. I think I've gotten it on every trip we've come now. But I got my pulled pork already. I put the sauce on, so I'm gonna try a bite and let you know how it is. That's some great pulled pork. Very tender, great flavor. They do have really, really good sauce. And then of course, got the Disney fries. I love Disney fries. So overall, great meal. If you come to eat down here and there are a bunch of birds out and about, I'm just gonna say be prepared to deal with it, because they will not leave me alone. They're eyeing down my food. They slowly get closer and closer. They just watch me. He did try to eat my food before. He took a bite out of it, so I got a second sandwich. Now he still won't leave me alone. Now there's more. They're everywhere. Going towards the Simba Pretzel now that we've finished Flametree, but Smiling Crocodile did close at 3.
Back of the...
Yep, we're by the back of the Tree of Life. We're just gonna walk to Africa area. And they should have some good drinks back in Africa too. And Simba Pretzel. This is so cool, more theming that I love. Look at those boats. Looks like the bird show might be running in there. I just saw some birds go flying up in unison. It is called Feathered Friends in Flight at the Anandapur Theater. We've actually never seen that, but we've heard it's pretty cool. I think it has a lot of birds. They fly and sink. They're trained. Maybe someday we'll do it. But then here we've got these really cool statues of Russell and Doug. We actually decided, we got right past the bird show, and then we decided we were gonna go back to the Joffreys in Asia, and then walk over to Africa for the Simba Pretzel, because we want to get our drinks from Joffreys.
We haven't had Joffreys yet.
Yeah, we actually haven't had Joffreys yet, or any Joffreys drinks yet, and we love Joffreys, and the fact that you can add a double shot in for $2 extra. It's a great deal. We've come up to, I think, the first Joffreys that we ever went to and got in Disney World together. It's the Royal Anandapur Tea Company, which is just a Joffrey's location with a fun name. The one thing we did notice right away is that the spirited beverages from Joffrey's now are $14. I think they were $13 before, so I think they raised the price by $1, which not a big deal, but just notable. And also they do have this seasonal beverage, Tart and Tangy. It's an exotic blend of iced tea, frozen lemon, and mandarin syrup, so I might ask how that is. I'm not sure what I'll end up getting. But then they also do have the Kilauea, which is the coffee one, a tiki torch, and a frozen strawberry lemon sunset. And look at all the amazing pastries that Joffrey's has too. Those blue donuts are so good. And the pink ones. We got some cookies, cinnamon rolls, bear claws, muffins, and more. We got our drinks from Joffrey's. Jamie got the tiki torch. I got the frozen lemon sunset, and it was frozen when it came out. And we've left the stand for about 30 seconds, so that can tell you about how hot it is today. It's instantly just liquid. So we quick walk down here with our drinks to this little, it's almost kind of like a relaxation area and just kind of an empty little space. There's usually not too many people down here, kind of right across from the Tree of Life, to sip on our drinks, just take some photos, enjoy the scenery. And then right now, we hear a little character parade coming on the water. Who will it be?
Hello, explorers. Look, it's a
So it is Timon and Rafiki. How fun. And now we're entering into the Africa area for the first time.
By
So,
Tusker House.
yep, Tusker House,
We can play the drum.
Tamu Tamu. Oh, and there are some drums over here, some really cool theming. Tamu Tamu is where you can get the Dole Whip in Animal Kingdom. Oh, and this is a pin trading station. So actually, maybe we'll look at the pin board. If something really strikes my eye, I guess I would trade my pins, but it's gonna be hard. We'll see. Let's go look. I'm not seeing anything that interests me too much. Right past Tamu Tamu and the gift shop, the Mombasa Marketplace, we come up to the Harambe Fruit Market, which also has hot dogs, chips, some other things, but this is where you can get that Simba pretzel usually, so hopefully they have it. Jamie just got her pretzel. She's almost back. We're seated over here in the Harambe Market area. It's really nice, but so they did not have Simba pretzels.
They're not going to have them for a while, which is sad.
Yeah, and we even did ask. We asked if they were going to have them or if they had them anywhere else in the park, and they do not. So, I mean, a Mickey pretzel is awesome.
And plastic cheese.
And plastic cheese, yeah, of course. So, we're going to sit here and enjoy our food and drinks and then probably do the safari after. I still have my frozen lemon sunset with the double shot. We drank these last year in Hollywood Studios. It totally, completely melted now, but I'll take a sip and let you know how it is. So it is very strong with the double shot in there. You can definitely taste the vodka, but the flavor is really good too. We love the Joffreys drinks, and the option to add the double shot is the best part.
Alright, so I am trying my first Mickey pretzel. Sadly, it's not Simba. And I have my Mayra Fabuleux ears on. If you want to buy any of her ears, by the way, go to her Instagram, Mayra Fabuleux. We will tag it right down here. And you can use my discount Disney15 for 15% off of your purchases.
Yeah,
they're very pretty.
She has so much
She
cool
has
stuff
so many cool
on her
ones.
shop. We've showed some of them before in our previous vlogs, and we'll have some to show at some point. But yeah, use Jamie's code. You can save on them. They're awesome.
She
ears
also
for the
has
park.
masks and like a whole bunch of other stuff. You guys will love it. But here's my first Mickey pretzel. Here I go. And plastic cheese.
Is it good? Mickey pretzels are always good. So we're gonna finish up here and then get on the safari soon. It's really nice back here in this Harambe market, actually. We were both just talking about it. Super peaceful. The theming is really cool, actually. Kind of makes you feel like you're in a little African village. You got all these little shops around. I think all these places are closed just because of reduced capacity and everything, but normally this would be a pretty hustle and bustle and marketplace where all of these stores would be open. So you'd have Chef Mangwa's meat shop, the market with the sausages and other things. They actually have a lot of good entrees that looked pretty tasty here and interesting. Yeah, me too. And I think normally they would have drinks here too if this was open, but all these places are kind of closed. So maybe someday we will get to come back here and enjoy something at the Harambe market.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be open by next year.
For my birthday and Easter.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Came and looked here too at the end of the Harambe market. It's not a river or water down here. This fence looks out over the train tracks that take you to Rafiki's Planet Watch, which has some cool stuff over there. So we were saying on our other Animal Kingdom day, if we have time, we might want to do that because we haven't done it together yet. And then down there is kind of where you load onto the actual train. So there you can see the entrance to Rafiki's Planet Watch, which now looks like it's closed. So it looks like it's closed now. The last train departs at 4:30, so we'll have to keep that in mind for our next time. Yeah, so we should come and do this earlier in the day.
It's a petting zoo, and
Oh.
you can keep goats a petting zoo,
Yes.
crowds, and then also there's a vet clinic, so you can see like behind the scenes procedures being done.
Okay.
So cool, like
We had no idea somehow that Rafiki's Planet Watch has a petting zoo, and you can see apparently a bunch of behind the scenes. We're thinking that's definitely going to be a must-do for our next Animal Kingdom day. We are in line for the safari now.
So excited.
Me too. We love this ride. The safari is always one of the best.
Safari like later in the day like this, so I hope we see like really cool animals
or even different ones.
Yeah.
It's currently 5:22, so it's not quite like an evening nighttime safari, but we got like a little bit of the dinner time, yeah, late afternoon safari. We'll see how it is. There was a brief delay in loading because apparently animals were in the road of the safari and the trucks could not keep moving, but now we're moving again. Probably took about 15 minutes. So total wait time is probably going to be like 20.
Relaxing line, like
Yeah.
there's fans and stuff, so it doesn't feel like too hot or anything.
We're in the shade. We have enough time. It's okay. It's a nice day.
I'm excited to see some animals.
So make sure to keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside of the truck at all times and remain seated because this ride is quite bumpy. And first we're going to be heading into the little Arie forest. There's a lot of vegetation here, so there's a lot of places for the animals to hide. So just keep an eye out for anybody in the bushes.
Oh, I do see some back there. I think those are the okapi.
And it looks like off to your right you can see an okapi. Now even though the pattern on its legs look really similar to a zebra, they're actually closely related to giraffes instead. The Western world also didn't know they really existed until 1901, which just so happens to be Walt Disney's birthday as well. He was born in 1901 too. And off to your left, up against the rock wall back there and in front of us, you can see some black rhinos. I'm gonna get closer to this one. But black rhinos are the smaller species of rhino that we have here on the reserve. They're only about 3,000 pounds as adults. If you look at its upper lip, you can see it's pointed. That's another great way to tell that it is a black rhino. And immediately on your right, those lightish tan looking antelope, those are greater kudu. Those are females, and I know that because there's 3 of them together. The females are pretty social. The males normally hang out by themselves. Also, females don't have horns. And these more caramel colored antelope as well off to your right, those are called bongo. They're also called ghosts of the forest because they can hide really, really well. So we're really lucky to have seen them out and about today.
There's a lot of them out.
And unlike greater kudu, both male and female bongos have horns. And now we'll be heading into the Safi River region. So in this area, many of the animals spend most of their time in the water. So you're going to want to keep an eye out for that. Looks like we got a hippo off to your right.
He was swimming over on the right there.
The Nile hippopotamus normally spends most of its day in the water. They can hold their breath for up to 8 minutes. And if they do sleep underwater, they naturally float to the surface every 8 minutes to take a breath without waking up. Very convenient for them. And those big white birds off to your left on the island, those are pink-backed pelicans. They're called that because during their mating season, their backs turn a light shade of pink. They also have a 9-foot wingspan, which is about the length of the canopy above your head, just to give you an idea of how big that is.
Oh, look at there.
And it looks like off to your left you can see another Nile hippopotamus under the branches over there in the water.
Oh, it's right back there too.
Oftentimes during the day they do spend most of their time sleeping.
That's pretty.
So at night is usually when they eat, and they can eat up to 90 to 100 pounds of food a day. Also off to the left you can see some Nile crocodiles.
Over there? Yeah. There he is. And there's another one.
Nile crocodiles might seem quite fearsome, but they're actually really good parents too. They do hold the eggs in their mouth and gently roll them around to encourage the babies to hatch, which I think is absolutely adorable. And off to your right, that really big tree, that's a baobab tree. Now, baobab trees are also called upside down trees because their branches do look a lot like roots, but that's just because they don't have leaves for about 9 months out of the year. They're also called the tree of life because they can hold thousands of gallons of water within their trunk, which is really helpful if there's ever a drought here on the savanna. Any animals that have tusks or horns can just puncture the side of the trunk and get the water from it. So it's really helpful for them in those situations.
I can't see fully, but it looks like there might be a lot of good animals out on the savanna right now, so maybe this is a good time for a safari.
Now we're heading into the savanna, so there's a lot less vegetation here for the animals to hide behind, so we might have some better luck at seeing more animals now.
I see giraffes in the distance.
So you can see them a little better. There's one laying on top of the den and also one just chilling in the grass.
Oh, the hyenas, look, in the water.
Now, spotted hyenas are pretty cool. They have a pretty cool social system, actually. The lowest ranking female is still higher ranking than the highest ranking male. So it's all about girl power with hyenas. And off to your left, you can also see a Maasai giraffe. Looks like we're going to see quite a few of these coming up here soon.
Look how
If you
many
look
giraffes
really
are coming
closely
out.
at their spots once we get a little bit closer to them, you can see that they're a little bit rougher around the edges. That's how you can tell it's a Maasai giraffe compared to other giraffe species. Fun fact, a group of giraffes is actually called a tower. Makes a lot of sense since they're really tall, usually between 18 to 20 feet tall actually. And they do give birth standing up, so that means that is a 6-foot drop for the baby. It doesn't harm them at all though. It actually helps them take their first breath.
Oh, we're coming, the s'mores. You see the s'mores.
It does shock them into the world.
Last year we had a tour guide who called the little
they're up and
white,
running
brown,
within the
and
next hour
tan
or
ones
so.
s'mores.
So they seem perfectly
And I'll
fine.
always think of them as the s'mores.
Now these smaller antelope that we're going to drive past real soon on the right, these guys are called springbok. Now springbok are actually my favorite antelope here on the reserve because I love them. They're so cute. Whenever they get startled, they can jump 6 feet straight into the air. It's really incredible actually. And those are also Ankoli cattle, the ones with the large horns right behind them. Now those horns might look really heavy because they are quite big, but they're not heavy at all actually. They are hollow on the inside. They're just filled with some blood vessels, which actually helps them cool off on these hot savanna days, so it actually helps them to have really big horns. They can sometimes be even 6 feet long. Looks like we have quite a few more giraffe up ahead as well. And some wildebeest off in the
we're coming up
distance
to a giraffe
your
eating
right
off
by
a
the
tree.
tree line. Now if you look at the giraffe's tongue while it's eating, you can see that it's actually a purplish black color instead of the pink color like ours. That's just because it spends a lot of its day eating, and its tongue is so exposed to the sun that it would get sunburned if it was pink. They do spend a majority of their day eating, which means they only sleep about 30 minutes every day. There's some more wildebeest up close too. And off to your right, you can see some tusk marks within the red clay. Those are actually from the African elephants in the area. They do use red clay, kind of like their own vitamin. They get their sodium intake from it, so it's really good for their health. It's always a great indicator that there are elephants in the area when you see those tusk marks. And it looks like I'm right. Over on the left, you can see an African elephant. We might get a little bit closer. And here's another look at those African elephants.
Oh, look at the baby. Oh, it's a baby elephant.
Now these elephants
And there's
are
one
females,
over there
and I can
carrying,
tell
like,
because
hay in
there
his
is a baby.
tusks.
Whenever there is a baby within a group, it is always going to be a group of females. The mamas take care of the babies, while usually the males are more solitary and hang out by themselves. Also, if you look at the way that they're flapping their ears, that's just helping them cool off. There's actually a lot of blood vessels within their ears, so whenever they flap them, it's like having their own personal fan. And over to your left, you can see some greater flamingo. Now the greater flamingo species is actually the lightest shade of pink any flamingo species can be. They get that pink coloration from the food that they eat, so they eat brine, shrimp, and krill. But it normally takes between 2 to 5 years for them to get that nice pink color. Now the chicks are usually a light gray and are a little bit fluffier than the adults, so that's another way you can tell the difference between the ages of the flamingos. And since they do hunt during the day,
There's a cheetah up there.
if you ever look at their
Small.
eyes, around their eyes at least, you can see some black markings.
Oh, there are
That's
two.
kind of like their own built-in pair of sunglasses. It just helps them see better during the day, whenever they're hunting. They also use their tail for balance and steering whenever they're running at those high speeds.
The ostrich is ahead in the road. This is where the lions would be.
And over to your left, there goes that ostrich that held us up for a little bit, strutting his stuff.
Oh, I see the lion.
You can also see a couple of lions laying down upon the Kopi rocks to your left, between those two trees.
Oh, there's two. Oh,
I know, they're like,
they're like cuddling. It looks like islands.
it's
Now,
Simba and
lions spend a lot
Nala.
of their days sleeping, usually between 18 to 22 hours. It's because hunting does take quite a lot out of them. The females are the ones that do most of the hunting, while the males will stay behind and watch over the cubs in their territory.
Oh, there's another one.
There's another
on the-
female.
See?
Oh, I see.
And also to your right, you can see a white rhino behind the bushes.
There's two.
Now, the white rhino is our larger species of rhino here on the reserve. It is 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. Here's another good look of that female African lion. In dens that they normally dig themselves, but if there's an empty one from someone else, they'll take that too. They usually back into their den so that they're facing outwards. It just better helps them protect themselves if anything comes up. And to your right, you can also see some ostrich eggs on the ground.
Oh, there's the ostrich
They're
eggs.
quite large.
People can stand on
They're
those
usually
without
about 3
breaking them.
pounds each, actually. And that antelope on your right, that is a bontebok.
It's a bontebok.
You can tell because bonteboks wear socks, and those white markings on its legs looks a lot like socks to me.
So did you know that
And
bonteboks
the
wear
warden's
socks?
Post.
Oh, this,
Now the warden does keep Nigerian dwarf goats.
Look.
They don't really take
I
up
don't
much
remember seeing
space.
this.
And also they're adorable.
Look. This is
And
the
they do
warden's.
provide us with a food source here on the reserve. They give us goat's milk and goat cheese. They're also really great landscapers. They'll eat pretty much any type of weed that other livestock will not. You have all of your belongings with you, because you definitely don't want to leave something and have it go on a safari without you. Now that would be quite a shame.
That's true. But we are done with the safari. That was awesome. We saw a lot of good animals, actually. We did see lions. I think last time we never even saw any lions. So definitely a positive there. We are off the safari. We're now heading to Pandora very quickly, so we can try to ride hopefully Navi River Journey first because the wait's a little shorter, and then Flight of Passage after, so we can just kind of wait in the line for that after park closes and still be able to do it.